glass bell in the vegetable garden. It's growth that he suppresses, not that growth which reproduces the identical and the equivalent by always recapitalizing in a new programs, but the one that follows from a birth, that develops a conception, cresco, creo, the care and the ripening of a being that exists. That growth that comes out of almost nothing, of an encounter, of an accident, of a clinamen of atoms, of an inclination of patience. The one that delivers not to expectation, but to that availability which does not even expect and puts itself to disposal, which lets itself be disposed. The ripening of the fruit, but also the fruit detaching itself and falling, withered, into the grass, where insects eat it, and worms and birds. How did he forget this? He wanted greenhouses that force fruition and imperishable fruits, never withered and never even ripe. As he wants the fruit without delay, he also wants knowledge without books and history without narratives. He wants man without tear or opening, his fist closed, that the infinite or the improbable no longer loosen. Faust 6. The unnamable is the only name that in the end I can accept. Not the name that overcomes all names and names them all by naming itself, but the unnamable whose very name corrupts and gnaws at all names, the unnamable like a horror for names, something that upsets the stomachs and nauseates. The bell speaks. Bell moved by the wind in the middle of the flags of prayer at the passage of the mountain pass. To understand the name, one must first of all listen to the sound. One must let a simple rustling, a simple beat resound. What a bell first means is its beating against its hollowed walls. It hits its own wall to return to itself from the other rim of its opening. This one turns toward the ground of a mouth of shadow within which beats that heavy tongue, that finger or that iron plectrum. One can draw from it an atrocious torment, but one can also understand it as the foreshadowing of all language, as the appeal to all language and all naming, that is, to the desire of an embrace, to that exasperated desire of being tied to things by their names. The bell calls out to the world, the glockenspiel to the games and the prayers of the world that brings peace. Faust 7. No longer to decipher, but to tear apart, to undo the fabric of science that wraps the world for us in order to unwrap it later in an embittered, uglified state, to go to the things themselves. Oh, give me a break. Just as one pours the metal melted from a bell to cast a cannon, likewise. But I know, when I approach them, the things themselves shy away. What made them themselves? Themselves gets altered and spoiled. Their beautiful selfness withdraws as soon as I, reaching out to it, disturb it and disrupt it. One more reason to get rid of the signs and of all means of approach. I even need to leave behind the senses that inform me. It's no longer a question of seeing or of hearing, not even of smelling or tasting or of fingering, not even a touching, no, because touch keeps the thing at skin distance, and that is not what I want. It's not what we want, oh my contemporaries. No skin, no membrane. We want to be but one with the thing without having our arrival modify anything in it. I will get lost at the bottom of it, so well that one will no longer find any remains, any trace of me. I will open a world without traces, without the smallest scratch or the smallest bend, no trace, no modification of the surface on which circulate only grains of energy forcefully displaced, exchanged, switched, and combined. An instant is enough. A point of an instant is enough. A simple click, an onomatopoeia, a raw noise, a bell stopped in a pause. Not the instant that stands still, but the one that cracks like a whip. Not the instant that lingers and enjoys, but the one that flies out and sparks, kindling a trail of powder.